Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh on Sunday, the 5th of November 2023 with FLOSSTUBE number 200. I made it to 200. I think later this month, week or so, is my 4-year anniversary on FLOSSTUBE YouTube. So yeah, 200 videos, who'd have thought, eh? Welcome back to my weekly YouTube channel about counted cross stitch. Voice is croaky, but I'm feeling heaps better. This is just like residual illness, but no, I'm heaps better. Yeah, COVID, don't recommend. To be fair, it probably wasn't that bad, but I hate feeling sick, and I felt pretty sick. Pretty much, I think you probably saw me at my best last Sunday. That afternoon, I got the chills again, and oh, it was just so cold. So I ended up having scalding hot shower and got to my gym jams and back into bed, I don't know, 2 o'clock or something, and just stayed in bed pretty much until Tuesday afternoon. I got like a really bad headache. That was probably the worst, is that I wasn't happy being upright. So sitting, standing, just my head would throb. Not like a migraine, just like a real gunky sinusy kind of headache. So I just lay down really. So yeah, in bed pretty much all of Monday, half of Tuesday, half of Sunday. So the first few days were a bit of a write-off, but my general symptoms didn't get too bad. Like I didn't get really any kind of significant chest thing, which is very unusual for me, because I usually get chest thing as soon as I get a cold. So I was pleasantly surprised to not get like, you know, issues with my breathing and stuff, so yay. But yeah, I'm still a bit tired, but mostly feeling okay. Did have a nap yesterday. Went to lie down to read for a bit, and I was doing that thing with my eyes, and so I put my book down, and 2 hours later woke up. So yeah, doing naps and just take it easy. I think I managed like probably like a day and a half's worth of work during the week, but so I did a little bit did a whole day on Friday, and I did little bits on Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, anyway, got out on Friday, out of isolation, so that was cool. And at lunchtime popped down to the library to drop some books off, because I read quite a few books during the week. I think I read 5 novels. No, 7. I read 7 novels during the week, which is probably a record for me. And I did a lot of it, and I think I stitched on 7 projects. So lots of stitching, lots of reading, lots of sleeping. But yeah, when I got out on Friday and went for a little walk, just in some fresh air, and bought myself a coffee and a donut, which was a real treat. And it was just so nice to get outside and feel like myself again. So yay. Anyway, that's pretty much that. Yeah, COVID sucks. Okay. Had a wee chat with Dad last night. He's doing all right. He's got a monitor thing at the moment. Had a huge, well, he said it was a very long appointment with the cardiac resident or surgeon who visits. I'm not sure. I think the cardiac surgeon comes from Tauranga to clinic, and he had a clinic appointment. Really just to go through all of Dad's like plethora of pills and just see whether there's anything that can be fine-tuned or anything, you know. And I guess the thing they're a little bit, well, Dad says the thing they're most perplexed about with his heart is that his heart rate is too low and doesn't increase as you'd expect in like under exertion and stuff. It doesn't get, so then of course it's not pumping a bit harder, therefore it's not trying to get more oxygen around, which then means he gets breathless and all that sort of thing. So they've given him a monitor to wear, like a, which takes readings of his heart rate and stuff, and then he's got to keep a journal of any time he feels particularly breathless or a change from the status quo, and then they'll map that up to what was happening. But he said so far it hasn't really, he's like gone from like 48 beats to 49 or some random shit. I don't know. He did used to have he's always had a low heart rate generally, but yeah, it's not increasing under exertion, so I don't know. Anyway, but apart from that, it gives him something to do, I guess. He's fine. And I don't think he had anything else to really share. I hadn't done anything all week, so I had nothing to say. Yeah, what did you do this week? Nothing. And talked to my sister Megan yesterday as well. I think yesterday or the day before, I don't remember. And yeah, she was lamenting what looks like the start of perimenopause for her, and I'm like, welcome to the club, sister, welcome to the club. So anyway, bless her. She was even though I've been told her all the things that, you know, look out for, she's still telling me like they're the first time I've ever heard of them. I'm like, I've been living the dream for a year, baby. Excuse me. Okay, I think that's it. Again, I haven't done anything, I haven't gone anywhere. Shall we just talk about stitching? Okay. I haven't got anything new. I haven't bought anything. I'm just thinking, is that true? That is true. So nothing exciting to show you there. But yeah, I think I did say I got quite a bit of stitching done. Because, you know, I was off sick and was able to sit on my ass and stitch. Okay, first up, I picked up one of those smalls that I showed you that I'd kitted up, and it was the hide the Chartley, the Snowflower Diaries Little Mermaid, and I stitched this on 32 count Stormy Night Belfast linen, and I used my own overdyes, and it was a start and a finish on Sunday. So after I got up from my nap in the afternoon, in fact I might have stitched this, I don't remember when I stitched it. I did it on the 29th anyway. So yeah, I didn't do a stitch card for it because it was so quick. And it's cute. And there she is. So there's a little bit of metallic in her tail. It's very subtle in person. You can see a bit of sparkle in her tail and in her little bra, and I think it's really cute. So yeah, all using overdyes except for the white in those flowers. That was just 5200, and the skin was whatever that skin color is, you know, pale beachy skin color. It's so cute. So, and I've got a little bit of fabric left I can do something else with. Then I'll just make that into a little cushion sometime in the future when I feel like getting the sewing machine out to a start and a finish. Then I picked up one of my hashtag stash sampler starts. It was number 7, Francis Sweetlove 1827 from Street Stitchworks. And I wanted to get a little bit on that. Here is the picture of the original, I think, vintage antique sampler. And this one I'm modifying as a record for my paternal grandmother. And this is on, I didn't tell you the details because I'm out of practice. I don't know. 40 count Oyster from Country Stitch using my own overdyed conversion. I don't think my voice is going to make it. And since you last saw it, I added in those two little doofers that are charted, and I have a gap because my personalisation is shorter than the original. I need to get my book of crowns or do little doofy things and add something in there. But so I added these two little things, and this whole row here. So I pulled this up a little bit, this up a little bit, but got that whole row across there. It's a long way across this sampler. This is on 40 count. And yeah, that was a good, I stitched that over 2 stitchy sessions, so it was quite a way across there. So yeah, that tiny little row took me like a day's worth of stitching. Although I wasn't stitching like, I've done lots of stitching, but I haven't been able to stitch for hours and hours. So I literally would stitch for an hour, then go and have a nap, read for a bit, have a nap, stitch for an hour, have a nap. But given that, you know, on a work day, I don't usually stitch 5 stitchy sessions, it all added up really. So yeah, I'm really liking how it's coming along. I think I might have done my 5 days on that one now, or I might still owe it a day. I haven't looked at my spreadsheet where I'm checking off. They had 2 days this session. I don't remember whether I did 2 or 3 days when I started it. It looks, the amount of stitching, it looks like either 3, could be 3 days, but if there was one day where it was like a Saturday where I didn't get off my bum and stitch for 8 hours, yeah, some stitchy sessions are an hour, some stitchy sessions are like 11 hours, so it depends on what I'm doing. Bloody hell. Okay, so then the first I stitched on Heather M Jardine, 1933, from Hands Across the Sea. As I stitch on her when I remember, or when it suits, on the 1st of the month. And I'm personalising the bejesus out of her, so different colours, using the Māori motto that's in here, changing it for my niece, adding different things in. So it's getting a real randomisation, this one. And I'm just sort of, because I'm lazy and not planning, I'm just literally making it up as I go along. This is on 36 count Riverstone from Country Stitch, using DMC, but let's say 3/4 of them called for, and then a bunch of others. And this is a SAL with, it was initiated by Hayley and Zeb, and a whole bunch of people, especially New Zealand, are doing it because we can. Here she is. Here's where she is right now. And since you last saw it, I didn't do too much on it, but I kind of did a lot of the personalisation. So I made up and sort of charted, loosely charted, and style adjacent to the letters that were there. My niece's initials, it's going to be for my niece Bree, just as a thing for her. So her initials BLJ. And then I added in her year of birth. That's not her year of birth. She wasn't born in 21. I need to frog that because she was born in 2001. I don't know why I put 2021. What a moopit. Anyway, imagine that says 2001. I'll fix that. Instead of the teddy bear, I put a little koala in because she lives in Australia. And then last time you saw I did the Lily of the Valley, which is the Finnish national flower. She has Finnish ancestry. And then the other thing I did, which is hard to see, all the way around it is a little red backstitched border. So I did that all the way around. Just because I didn't feel like making up and counting stuff, I just did that as well. So the border's now complete, and I've got to fix that too and make it, at least the letter is the same width. Sorry, the number is the same width. The 0 is the same width as the 2. That will take like a minute to fix. I might do that before I put it away because I'll forget. And look at it going, wow, she just turned 22, not 2. What an egg. Yeah, so basically that koala that I just looked up. Again, I stole it off the interwebs. It was a an ugly mock-up and the colours are different, and I modified a little bit to make it fit in the same space as the teddy bear. So it's, I think it was only one row deeper than the teddy bear, and it's exactly the same width. So I just ended up putting my year one stitch lower. So there's like only one row between my wrong year and this row, as opposed to the mock-up has two. But basically the teddy bear fits in that space, the Lily of the Valley fits in this space. I haven't done these little doofers yet because I don't know what I'm going to do there. Not sure what I'm going to put there. I don't love these blue belly things, so I'll probably pick a kiwi flower for there, or I'll put an Australian. Oh, I kind of like the idea because I've got the koala there, which is Australian, and the Lily of the Valley, which is Finnish. So I might put like a Corfi or something in there because I've got yellow in my palette, so I might stylize a Corfi where those blue belly things. So the Corfi is like a kiwi flower, and I still haven't decided what to do up here. This might be like a little pudakawa or something else. Kiwi. Parrots are very Australian, but I changed my parrot colour. So yeah, I'm just having fun with it. I figure those little baskets are really easy to fit in later. This one I might make a little bit more like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just having fun with it. But yeah, it's probably, it's probably about 65% done now, maybe, making that up. Anyway, really happy with that, apart from the fact that I got the date wrong. That's what happens when you don't think. Right, what was next? I had mentioned this last week, 10,000 Lakes by Carolyn Manning Designs, that I was going to push for a finish. So I'd done quite a bit on it, and I didn't have too much to do. This is on 18 count Aida in the colour Sage or Celadon, depending on where you buy it, using Call for DMC, and I did get a finish on it. And the top is, I know which is the top. So I just had to fill in some little bits and some of these, and then pretty much everywhere where there's backstitch on this section had to be kind of filled in. So did all the backstitching. I think I've got all the backstitching done, and really happy with that. Yay, a finish. So that was started 21st of January and I finished it on the 31st of October. I obviously didn't show these in order but who cares? So yeah, really happy to get that finished. So now I'm down to 1.1 Carolyn Manning Designs. Excuse me. Then black sampler November. I picked up one of my existing black samplers. So this was another hashtag stash sampler start number 3 was I Am No Bird, the Charlotte Bronte sampler from Modern Folk Embroidery. And this is on 40 count Tickle the Ivory linen from Dames of the Needle using Anchor Black. And this was started back in August. And I had great success. The border met up, which I wasn't that surprised about. It's a really easy one to count, just like 9 across, 7 diagonal, 9, 7, 9, 7. So as long as you can count to 9, 7. So I got all that black, this black border met up. When you saw this last time, I had stitched all of this side. I had a little bit to do in one of these. And then I wound down here, I found I'd miscounted one, so I had to frog it and fix it. I had the black vine across the bottom, but I had this bit all done. So I got all of the vine done, finished that little bit, fixed up that little bit where it was wrong, got all of that across there, and then I've started on there's actually 2 rows, a double row of black all the way around, so I got one of them done. And then there's a second row, and it does matter, like you wouldn't have to do it, except that I want it to be the same stitch count as the companion piece, the Jane Austen sampler, a Real Comfort, and you need those 2 borders to make it the same stitch count. But when I started it, I started with this because then I didn't have to count a solid line. It was easier to count 797979 all the way along. So I got quite a bit done on that. So I think this has definitely had its 5 days now. So yeah, it's a good start. It may very well come out again later this month as part of Black Sample in November. This is a pretty quick border to stitch because it's very repetitive. Once you've got that vine in, yeah, it's fun. I mean, that big ass house is going to be huge. I might do okay, when I do the house, which is going to be a little way away, I'll do a stitch with me because people ask me how I'd stitch my houses, how I'd stitch around the windows and stuff. And this will be a good one because it's all one colour. It's, you know, so, but it's something to look forward to in the new year, probably. Who knows? I could just jump up and start stitching it, but I don't want to. And then I picked up one more project, my grandma's jewellery box sale from Carolyn Manning Designs. This is the monthly brooch. So last night I picked this up. This is on 32 count antique white linen by Zweigart, using usually, sometimes not, but mostly the call for DMC. When I don't use the call for DMC, it's just because I can't find it because it's in a project. I'm too lazy to go looking for it. And I'm substituting the beads and metallics from Stash. So the beads and metallics look often quite different. This one will be a case in point. So I don't know why. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There's the 11, one more month to go. I don't know if I'm going to finish them in December, fully finish. We'll see. December's going to be overwhelming, so probably not. Next year. So here is the November for me. So the greens are all the DMC's called for, but where the metallic called for, oh, I always get this colour wrong. I don't remember. I don't even know what colour it's supposed to be. I put gold, a gold number 4 braid, number 8 braid. I don't know, it was too thick, but I managed to squeeze it through. So gold metallic, and then where the beads were called for gold, I put in these sort of white pearlescent beads. So there are beads in each of these little things, and then there's a row of beads, a circle of beads around here. I really like how this one came out. I think just adding that bit of gold and the lighter beads just lifted a little bit, but there is actually quite a lot of green. Like, I'm really surprised how many green brooches there are. Partly because I've played on the green quite a bit, but yeah, they're very fun, and I really love this little project. Has it made even the slightest dent in my metallics and beads? Not really. I think I finished one spool of metallic, not because I used all of it on this project, but because there was only a little bit left. So I think I've actually discarded one spool this year, one empty spool, and I think one packet of beads has got down to about 12, but yeah, it's fun. So I'm really pleased with that. Yeah, one more month to go. And I don't know what next year will bring. That was 7 projects. So I did quite a bit of stitching this week. Again, if you're isolated, can't leave the house, can't have visitors, and don't have any energy to do much, a little bit of stitching here and there goes a long way. So I am very pleased with that. I'm pleased I had a finish. What did I finish? Oh yeah, the 10,000 Lakes. I plan to start another shooting star, but not until the new year. I've got to get fabric yet, but I want to stitch the Celtic series that Carolyn brought out earlier this year. And I'm probably going to stitch them a little bit bigger. Like, I might even use 2 strands. What? With the idea that I might make them into like a set of cushions. I don't know. So like I might stitch them on 32 count, which they'll be quite big, and use heaps of floss, but I'm thinking about it. And picking nice fabrics so that I have a little bit of a border showing when I eventually I was going to say frame them up, but like I definitely don't need, I've got so many projects that they're in the cupboard. What else? I've buried stuff. Here we go. The only other thing really to talk about is, yeah, Black Sampler November. So I am going to have probably have a start this week, maybe today. So one of my black samplers, I kitted up the Black Butterfly sampler from Shaded Stitchery, which is going to be on 40 count corn straw linen from Country Stitch using, what I pull? The Gentle Art Onyx and Cottage Garden Threads Haviland on corn straw. So that feels like it needs to get started. So I'll probably start that today while I'm still recovering from my malaise. I'm not sure I've got 900 pages printed, but I do. There's lots of paper with this chart. There's a backstory page, there's the deets page, there's a preview page, a palette page, the instructions page, the charts page, which then you have 4 different chart versions, and I printed all of them. I don't even know why. I think I only need 4 pages of chart, but anyway, we'll get that started. I can't see it's going to be that huge, but that's probably going to get started, and that's sort of all I have really. I can't think of anything else to talk to you about, so I might wrap it up. I really appreciate a couple of people have bought me coffees this last week, so thank you very much. It's great. It helps. I don't know, just helps. Coffee motivates me. And I need to get the giveaway that I gave away last week out this week. I didn't want to send it while I was COVID-y. Well, I couldn't get to the post office, right? So hopefully I'll spray it down. Jodie, I'll spray it down with antiseptic just to make sure. But I'll get that out hopefully this week. I'll get into a post shop and post that. And I can't think of anything else. Nope. I've got my dad coming to stay in a couple of weeks at the end of the month. Basically, I think he's coming down on a Wednesday, goes back on a Wednesday. And over a weekend where there's an air show over in the Wairarapa, Wings over Wairarapa. Typically, it's every 2 years on a Tuesday. Sorry. Typically, it's every 2 years in February. I don't know why Tuesday in February, anyway. And he has never been to that particular air show, and it got kind of postponed. One year they had terrible year with weather, it got postponed then with the COVID year. It was supposed to be in February this year, and we originally talked about Dad coming over. Like into last year we were talking about Dad, and then his health was so crap, and he was just like, I can't commit to it. And we're like, look, if it's meant to happen, it's meant to happen. Well, they ended up moving it. I don't know why they moved it to November, but they did. Because it was advertised and tickets were on sale for February. I don't know what happened. I don't really care. But it got moved. And Dad's, touch wood, Dad's health's been pretty stable. And I guess he's a lot better this year than he was even at Christmas. Actually, I'm grabbing a whole lot of wood because he hasn't been in hospital. My dad hasn't been in hospital since February, which is ironic, right? He wouldn't have been able to go if it had been in February because he had that bad heart attack and blah, 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 blah. Got kind of bad. Anyway, modern medicine's a marvel. And so, touch wood, he's doing okay. You know, he's still buggered, but he's okay. Anyway. And they moved it. So I said, well, why don't you come? So I bought tickets. Well, we've only got tickets for the Sunday. Because the tickets for like the whole week, or the Friday practice day, Saturday and Sunday, they're like premium super duper tickets. They're like $360 or something. And times 2, that's a lot. And I'm like, And we wouldn't be able to go over all 3 days, especially since I've got work. And the tickets are sold out just for the day. Tickets are sold out on the Saturday, so we're going on the Sunday. Hope the weather's okay. So I think it's like the 26th or something like that, if that's a Sunday. So Dad will be here that weekend and a few days before, a few days after. So that'll be nice to have him here. He bought his flight, so he's flying down, hopefully. I mean, the smaller aircraft, you don't have, he should be fine with, like, it's not like it's like it's not like it's highly pressurized like you have, you know, long haul where you go a lot higher. He should be fine. It's only like an hour flight from Rotorua, so I should be fine. Anyway, I think because my project that I was going to be, the project that, one of my projects has been delayed because stuff went wrong and we're trying to get the vendor to help us fix it. And anyway, so one of my projects is pushed out to sometime in the new year, which actually bought me a bit of time, thank goodness. So I probably can take a couple of days off that week now. It would have been the weekend we were going to go live, which would have also been really bad, but we're not going live that weekend now. So all's worked out okay. And anyway, he's going to be here in a couple of weeks, so that'll be nice to have him here for a week and go to the air show. So people who don't know, my dad's an aeroplane nut. He was a commercial pilot when he left school. All he wanted to do was fly, and he got his license and then his commercial license. So due to his colour blindness and stuff, he was restricted with what he could fly. I think he originally wanted to go into the Air Force, but he didn't want to go into the Air Force if he couldn't fly, and he couldn't fly, so he didn't. But he started a flying school in Gisborne when I was like a wee baby, or even before I was born. Didn't get rich. But he flew light aircraft, and he basically taught people to fly. Mostly he taught people to fly to get their private pilot's licenses. So, and I think he used to fly like freight and like small freight. I don't really know, top dressing, that sort of crap. Little Cessnas and stuff. So, but my dad loves airplanes. So air shows are his thing. And I last went with him to an air show in like 1995 maybe. I think 1995-ish, maybe 1996. Might have been 1996, and we went down to Wanaka, to the Warbirds over Wanaka. We did the 2 days. It was great. So that's the thing we'll do. Anyway, blah, 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 air show, blah, 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 Dad's coming. Yay, I got COVID before he came, so I'd have to be very unlucky to get COVID again within the next 3 weeks when Dad's here. So I should be all freaking full of antibodies. So that's good, and all I can hope is the weather works out great, because who knows, it's New Zealand, anything could happen. We can't even do a long range forecast. For us is looking out the window and seeing what's doing in an hour. I'm gonna go. Thanks for coming along, and somehow I managed to eke out this video, make it a little bit longer. I appreciate you and your comments, and look forward to seeing you next week. Hopefully everyone's well and that you find joy in something this week. Maybe it's stitching, maybe it's not. Take care, and as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.